There
Good
we
to
go.
go? Yeah, and let's get started. Patricia
Happy New
was here
Year.
first. Oh yeah, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do something special, Tom?
Oh, I always walk the Rose Parade floats. Like,
Oh,
so I was up
cool.
early, so I'm a little bit I'm half myself, but I was up at like 5:30 this morning walking the Rose Parade floats before they take off on the route. So that's our tradition.
That's
It was
that's
cool.
super cool. And Patricia had a good holiday, it sounds like as well.
Yeah, I'm in Santa Fe. Santa Fe knows how to do the holidays and
Yeah, I bet.
red and green chili
Always
with
green and red.
enchiladas. And just was good. We had family. We have a beautiful tree. We had some snow. It's been cold and bright. My daughter's from
Nice.
Seattle, so we had her down here to get some sunshine, fill their eyes up with light. So it
Are
was
they
so
still
bright.
there?
We
Are
kind of
they
lucked
still
out.
with you? Are they still with
They
you?
went back on New Year's Eve, so they're just
Mm.
home. But that was great. So, what shall we start with the book?
Hi,
Book
Beth. Yes, please do.
All right. Well, our seasons, my seasons, I have two a year for my publishers, and we're kind of in the little trough in between. And yet, there's some books at the end of the fall season that are just coming out at this very moment. And one of the most exciting, which was a lead title but late arrival, is this magnificent biography of John Lewis, In Search of the Beloved Country. It's by Raymond Arsenault, who did a significant history of the Freedom Riders and came to know John Lewis, who was extraordinarily gracious and generous to him. And now a first full-length biography of John Lewis. I mean, as we look ahead at this particular year, I think we're a little daunted at all that lies ahead in our political path. And it is inspiring to read the power of one man's life in American history through Jim Crow, through civil rights, and up to the end of his life. He had 17 terms as a congressman. His personal ethos was grounded in an unshakable faith in the human potential for moral improvement and bringing about the heavenly community, the beloved community on earth. We can only hope for that. This is in the Black Lives series. This is a new series from Yale, and it's a tremendous biography for us to have on our list, and it's just launching now.
That looks amazing.
Uh-huh. Are there others in the series yet, or is it the first?
There have been a couple of other biographies, and we have an interesting biography coming for the spring on Richard Wright's character, Bigger, from Native Son. What an interesting book that's going to be. So that's ahead. But I think that John Lewis in stature is a real cornerstone for this new series. So we're thrilled.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, Tom.
Should I go? So, well, first, it's not my book, but I was so amazed to see this.
On the front page.
Front page. I love when books make the front page of the New York Times. I don't care whose book. This is Gabe's book. But did you see that? It's the headline is the unusual reach of that octopus book took even its publisher by surprise.
I saw that.
I mean, it was amazing. So I love when books
Yeah.
make news. Still a bestseller, as big a bestseller now as it ever was, I think.
I follow her on Instagram, and her post about it was just great. She's like,
that's
on the front page of the New York, on the freaking front page of the, I can't stop repeating, on the front page of the New York Times. She was so thrilled.
And we could probably name, like, it's like on one hand how often this happens. I'm sure it happens with Crawdads and a few other books, but it doesn't happen very often. But on to the Penguin books. So my first book is on sale tomorrow, I think. Yes, tomorrow, the 2nd. It's called First Lie Wins. Which is a great title. And so you can tell from the cover and the title, this is going to be a page-turning thriller, which perfect for January. And it comes from Pam Dorman, who is she publishes just really commercial, good literary and commercial books. And in this time frame, like January 2 years ago, or I think 2 or 3, was The Push, which was another, adrenaline soaked page turning thriller. So this is perfect timing for her. The setup is great. The main character is Evie Porter, and she's a nice Southern girl. She has a boyfriend, living in a small town. She has a fancy group of friends. The catch is that Evie Porter doesn't exist. That's not who she really is. She's a professional con artist, which is all well and good until into this town comes a person bearing her real identity. So suddenly she's face to face with someone. The thing she'd most tried to keep safe was her own identity, and then a woman comes into town with that identity, and then all hell breaks loose from there. So it'll be coming as a Hulu, series. It's already like in the works, so this is out in hardcover, but the series is not too far away. Kirkus says Evie is a smart and engaging protagonist, and her time on the run is anything but predictable. So if you want something now for the new year, just fun, fast, First Lie wins. And it's a first. Well, it's a debut. It's an adult debut, but she's had young adult books.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
It's really fun.
Easy peasy way to get into your reading goals for the year.
Exactly, right.
I've never seen so many people setting numerical goals for their reading till this year, which is cool in a way, but also a lot of pressure.
I know. I do it myself last few years. I never achieved the number. I'm not sure how useful it is for me, but I see it a lot.
I think we should just set the number at book acquisition. I can do that.
Oh yeah. We're overachievers there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm involved in serious stacking now. The shelves are long gone.
As you can see behind me.
Last year, one of our longtime viewers, Beth, said her resolution was to buy less books, but we were making it difficult. I don't know how she ended up doing in that regard. She's here today, so
we need an update, I think.
Okay, your turn, Patricia.
Yeah, we have another book from Princeton that was also a late bloomer or early starter here for the new year from our fall list, and one I've been anticipating and thrilled to see. It's called The Weirdness of the World by Eric Schwitzgebel. Schwitzgebel's in your neck of the woods. He's at UC Riverside. I've sold him before when I had MIT. He did a book called Theory of Jerks. So he's been working his way up to how to know the universe in all its peculiarity. He is a philosopher and reminds me of Oprah's famous phrase, "Things I know for sure." Schwitzgebel will make sure that you know nothing for sure, that it's all a hall of mirrors, time travel, infinity, relativity, some of the preposterous physics that might confound us with cosmologies. And he's deeply involved in problems of artificial intelligence, robot consciousness. Soon you'll be in a whirl. He says among the weirdest things about Earth is that certain complex bags of mostly water can pause to reflect on the most fundamental questions that there are. So we bags of water stumbling in short mortality through the universe are easily confounded by major questions about the nature of reality, the structure of the cosmos, and how human consciousness fits into it. He's a great deal of fun to read. He has a theory of universal bizarreness in which all theories relating mind to the cosmos are defying common sense. And also, to go with that, a theory of universal dubiety, because all theories fail to compel common sense belief. So, theory of weirdness for the new year.
That's so cool.
A Princeton book.
That's great. Is it illustrated through?
Yes, he has some wacky cartoons and odd little moments that are somehow you have to kind of be there to get it. I don't know why. We're looking at people playing chess. There's funny little doodles. It's not, I wouldn't call it an illustrated book, and they don't leap out hugely, but are amusing. If
Uh-huh.
he is talking about the intelligence of a garden snail, there will probably be some level of consciousness attributed to this creature
Fun.
and account of its very low neurons. What in fact is reality to a garden snail?
Hmm. Are you a Star Trek person, Patricia?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Do you know where that bags of mostly water probably came from?
Oh, you can tell me.
There's a Next Generation episode where they encounter an alien race, and the aliens keep referring to them as ugly bags of mostly water.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no,
I'm
we're completely devoted to the original Star Trek when I was in college, and I've seen a great deal since. And yes, definitely.
I've been watching through with my partner, and we're into Enterprise, which is kind of awful and also kind of cool. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it yet, but
You know, we spent a great deal of time with Picard. We were sorry to lose Picard. And we like the new retro one.
Oh, cool.
That's kind of fun. I think it has a second season. I think we've done the 2 seasons.
Yeah,
The
Enterprise is rough.
prequel retro Star Trek.
How about you, Tom?
I have nothing to add on the Star Trek films. My dog might.
Just curious.
Okay, so my next book, shall go on to the next book? Is new in paper tomorrow. This was a book I talked about probably exactly a year ago, but now it's out in trade paper. Age of Ice, which is just a totally immersive thriller set in modern day India. The shorthand we had for it was an Indian Godfather, because there is a crime family, the Wadia crime family, and it's the intersection of the son in the Wadia family, Sunny Wadia, a woman journalist who falls in love with him, and his servant, who is one of the great characters I've read in a long time. So it explores class as well as, it's page turning, but you're learning a lot about modern day India, and it just draws you into this world. The only thing about this book is that it's volume 1 of a trilogy, so it leaves you. I found it to be a satisfying enough ending, but I definitely want more. And I don't know when. It's such a big book. I don't know how quickly we'll get the next book. Not this year. But anyway, out in paperback. So people that didn't discover it in hardcover, it's perfect, to start to discover it now. The reviews were fantastic. Ron Charles in the Washington Post, he just ended his review saying, Kapoor is already working on the 2nd volume of a projected trilogy. I have only one word of advice: hurry. So definitely one to pick up in paperback. It's perfect paperback. Age of Ice by Deepti Kapoor.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great. I'm only sad that we probably have a few years to wait.
Yeah, it's so hard. That's a hard sell, you know?
Yeah, I know.
I know. But the fact that you're talking about it speaks very highly of it. So
yeah, it's a book I have not forgotten. It's just stuck with me, even though it is a thriller of sort. It really is a thriller, but it's so much more than that.
Cool. Thank you. Okay, I guess lightning round, but there's no need to hurry. We're zooming through.
Yeah. Well, we have a nice little series at Princeton called Ancient Wisdom for Modern Readers. They're cute little books. They're nicely packaged.
Yeah.
They are new translations with an amusing focus, and yet intensely serious from the ancient world. They have facing pages in Greek or Latin, in this case, Greek, and different themes. And we have 2 just coming out, which I think are perfect to open the new year. The first is How to Be Healthy. We're talking about Claudius Galenus, often anglicized as Galen, the great physician of Marcus Aurelius, physician to the gladiators. In fact, he kept count and said he'd only lost 2 in the initial year. And this was a much better statistical record for mortality than his predecessor. His writings influenced medicine into the 19th century, and some of his ideas, of course, are still full of common sense, and some you might find quite unexpected. The cover has his suggestion, I believe, of doing exercises with a small ball, and is really not that much different than something that might inspire your resolutions at the supermarket. He's very good on mind body. Of course, interesting in the ancient world's ideas of physiologies and types and blood and bile and different kinds of characters like Saturn. We also have a second one. This might be my favorite, How to Focus, writings of John Cassian, who's surprisingly delightful on monastic wisdom for distraction. He tells little tales of 2 characters, Cassius and Germanus, who are kind of on the road, begging desert fathers to give them, their advice. And as usual, Zen-like, the desert fathers are somewhat elusive in how to find the truth, how to pay attention, how to, entirely center your life. Again, surprisingly contemporary thoughts about reading the right things, managing your memory, using mantras, being receptive to emotions, working with mentors, being honest with yourself. This is the health one was translated and edited with a foreword by Catherine von Schaik, who has a classics degree and a medical degree. And I particularly like Jamie Kreiner, who is the editor translator here. You may know her for another recent book I should have picked up to show you from Liverwright on distraction. So we always have resolutions, these apparently for the last couple of eons.
That series is so good. I've recommended them over and over for years now, especially around graduation time. So they're just like a beautiful little object, and the facing page with the original language is just really it's such a good. I mean, I'm trying to remember all the titles.
Well, people like the morbid ones. How to Die has always been a bestseller. How to Be a Friend. We have a number on the electoral process that may come back into play. We have How to Be Cool. I just noticed
there's How to Drink.
There's How to Drink. That's a Latin imbibing advice, and does suggest that you pace yourself and who are you drinking with.
Oh, how to care for animals. Yeah, I highly recommend this series if you need a gift for someone who's brainy but also enjoys quirky humor, and it's beautiful little size.
Yeah.
Super cool series.
Ahead, we have How to Be Queer. It's fantastic.
Oh,
it's
cool.
Really going to be wonderful. A lot of writings from the ancient world, including Sappho, that's coming out this spring.
Oh, awesome.
I think that's
and How to Make Money too.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Okay. Last one for you, or a few if you want, Tom.
My last book is, I have one, which is out in paper tomorrow, from last year, out in hardcover last year, Awe, by Dacher Keltner, who is a psychology professor at Cal Berkeley. He directs the Berkeley Greater Good Science Center. And so he does research into the brain, and he's bringing the science behind awe, which he defines as the feeling of being in the presence of something vast that transcends your understanding of the world. And so, of course, nature plays a big role, but also, he takes you to all different areas that can evoke that feeling, like sports, of course, works of art, music. So it's really, a necessary book. We all want more of this in our life, and it's a way to really understand it in, more deeply. And I think paperback, it's much more accessible. It's a very readable science book. It's like because he's a teacher and a great teacher, and is, you know, it's one of those books. We've done a few of these where the professor is, it's like the best. The professor has a class that everyone wants to get into, and then they do a book based on that class. So you feel that energy in the book. He was also a consultant for Pixar's Inside Out, which I'm pretty sure is coming. I think there's an Inside Out 2 coming in the summer this year. So it's a really fun, smart science book about a subject we all feel, but I would say not enough. So Awe in paperback, really good paperback. This will sell forever.
Yeah. I like that they kept the cover art on that one.
Yeah,
It's really, really
And they
beautiful.
added I think they added the Adam Grant quote, which is, "We need more awe in our lives," and Dr. Keltner has written the definitive book on where to find it. So that's good.
Cool. Thank you. Well, we we went really quickly, which I think is appropriate for today.
Yeah.
But if either of you have anything else you wanted to throw in, or just wanted to say, or anything, go for it. If not,
I don't think so. Happy to be here. Happy to
Yeah.
start
Nice
a
to be
new
here.
year of
Yeah.
Tea Time.
wonderful to have you. Beth mentioned she just finished reading Northwoods, which was a huge one. Can't remember, was that on Barack Obama's reading list?
It was.
No, it was.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
was,
Well, wasn't it? I think it was.
It was certainly on a number of lists. That's on
Yeah.
my list. I haven't
Mine too.
gotten
I
to
was
it
on
yet,
my
but I like
it was
his
on my
I
list
like
for
his
this
writing.
holiday. I was
Yeah.
going to read it over the holiday, but it
This
didn't
is one of those books where, as a rep, you know, you talk to people and you ask them what they want to recommend, and you're completely ready to buy the book, but they're always reading a galley and it's not there.
That's right. And this was one
But
where
they were reading that. That was one that people were reading.
and I do that all the time too. But it takes a lot of recommendations for it to really break through to me, because I'm like, do I really need another book to read? You better. And then this just kept coming up and kept coming up. And then
he's a gorgeous writer.
And it just showed up, I think, for the first time on the Times bestseller list. So it's a good sign that it's like that's what happened in general, like word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth. It finally just
it's very
happened.
rich.
Yeah. That's
I was
great.
excited to see The Maniac on his list as well.
Me too.
I liked The Maniac.
Oh, you
What
did?
a wonderful book.
Yes.
I
But it
bought,
didn't.
we were visiting my brother in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, which is not very promising. And I begged my husband to take me to Barnes and Noble. I needed a break. And unexpectedly, that book was on display. It looked so odd
Yeah.
among, you know, the big display of commercial fiction covers.
Right.
And I've read a lot in that period. And of course, Los Alamos is here. It's really strange and wonderful. And then it falls into that Go game.
Yes.
It's just brilliant.
Yeah, I'm so glad you felt that. We're both huge fans, and I was so excited to see it on Obama's list because it didn't quite get on all the lists that I thought it would. So
I think The Economist or somebody put it in Science, strangely.
Oh my gosh.
But it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And we have a whole book on Vienna and its influence. And again, you're kind of caught up in the strange, intense influence of Austrian physicists as well, and the emigre influence into America as well. It's things that you weren't expecting, but have affected every corner.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I thought, as always, Obama's list was quite good.
Yep, very well rounded.
I was also, of course, I was happy to see the Lauren Groff on there, and I knew the James.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure the James McBride would be there, but Lauren Groff being there was made me happy.
I thought of you when I saw that.
Yeah,
I did a happy dance when I saw that.
Wonderful books. That I read that also. Gave it to
good.
My daughter. I thought that was very powerful.
Yeah, it was a good year of book. It was a good year. Last year was a great year for books. I'm sure this year will be too.
I wonder when Lauren Groff's bookstore is opening. I'm excited to see
that. I saw that article.
I kind of think it's soon. Like February sticks out. Like maybe not like fully, but up and up. You can buy books online, I think, at some point soon. And yeah, it'll be interesting and fun to watch that
It'll
unfold.
be good to have a feisty bookstore down there in Florida.
Yes.
Golly.
Florida woman opens bookstore.
Seems impossible. That could be the headline, but I think it is.
Thank you both again so much. And
Thank
thank you to everyone watching.
Yes.
I'm surprised we had a good amount of people on today. And yeah, Happy New Year. Happy New
Happy New
Year
Year.
of books. May it be healthy and happy and not dystopian. And we'll see you next week. Thank you, Kim, too. Nice to see you. Thank you both so much for being
Thank
here
you.
today.
Good to see you.
Thanks,
Good to
Amanda.
see you, Tom.
See everyone
Yeah,
out
good to
there
see you.
soon.